Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I have a yoga mat. If you don't have one, don't worry. I'm also standing on my living room rug. Your living room rug or any carpeted area in your house can act as your yoga mat for today. I have 2 yoga blocks, but you could substitute 2 thick books, and I do have a folded blanket. Sometimes we use that to sit up on or to pad our knees. You can absolutely use a bath towel, a beach towel, or the throw blanket from your couch. We'll start in the foundational pose, really of all poses, our mountain pose. You could say it's the pose we use the most in real life, standing with our feet parallel, hip distance, soft bend to our knees, a softness to our gaze. In fact, a softness to our approach, a softening into this moment, and a softening into our breath so that we are fully aware of every inhale and fully aware of every exhale, fully present in this moment right now. Let's add a little bit of movement to our breath. Inhale, float your arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, float your arms alongside you, palms face out. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, float your arms along your side, palms face out. Adding on, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to your thighs for this first one. It's a good place to find this next bit. So we'll coordinate an inhale and press into our thighs and uplift our heart. It feels like we're lengthening our spine. Then exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. It becomes a forward fold. With your hands on your thighs, you can feel that you're still translating that long spine. Keep the long spine. Maybe slide your hands down your thighs towards your shins, maybe even towards your ankles, but let's not round terribly to get there. Slide your hands back up, maybe even to your thighs as we inhale and uplift our heart. We'll exhale, just fold in one more time, keeping the length that was found as we tractioned our hands on our thighs, and then inhale, rise, reach. Thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Float your arms along your side palms, face out. We'll flow that. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs, your shins, or your ankles. Slide your hands up. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold back in, keep the length. Rise, reach, inhale, thumbs to the sky, V, and then we pause, palms face out. Adding on, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs, shins, or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up as we fold in, bend your knees deeply. Make sure your palms can get flat on your mat. Once they are, step back to our first down dog. Now we want to push strongly into our hands, so there's no crumble, no bending of elbows out to the side. Imagine that there's a hook in your tailbone, and that's lifting you up to the corner where the wall and the ceiling meet behind you. I'm high on my tiptoes, and I've got a pretty wide stance. You might join me in that. Walk your feet forward to your hands were hip distance. Slide your hands up, inhale, lift your heart. Fold in, and we slide our hands back down. Rise, reach, inhale, thumbs to the sky, then stand, palms face out. Adding even more. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to thighs, shins, or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, lift your heart, bend your knees deeply as we fold in, palms go flat. We step back to down dog, we feel the hook in our tailbone. Then we will shift shoulders over wrists into a plank position and glide back. Hook in our tailbone leads us to down dog. Back and forth 2 more times. To plank with our shoulders over our wrists. To down dog with our tailbone lifting up and back. To plank with our shoulders over our wrists. To down dog with our hips lifting up and back. Walk forward, feet come all the way up to our hands. Hip distance and parallel, slide your hands up, inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold. Back in, slide your hands down. Rise, reach. Thumbs to the sky, a V. And then palms face out as we stand. Let's keep building our sun salutation. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs, shins or ankles. Slide your hands up. Inhale, lift your heart. Palms go flat. We make our way to down dog. This time in our down dog, shift shoulders over wrists and bring your knees to your mat a little further back than if we were doing hands and knees. With a firm belly, lower all the way onto your belly. Uncurl your toes and come into a cobra pose like this, or situate your forearms down and make it Sphinx pose. That might be a clearer way to find an upper back bend. Lower down, position your hands next to your ribs, curl your toes under, make sure your belly is firm as we come through all fours. And then we make our way to down dog, hips lift up and back. Walk your feet forward all the way to your hands. Let them be hip distance. Slide your hands up. Inhale, lift your heart. Fold in, slide your hands down. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then we pause, palms face out. Sun salutation A. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs, shins, or ankles. Slide your hands up. Inhale, lift your heart. Palms go flat. We step to down dog. Remember to push the ground away even as we come into our plank with our shoulders over our wrists and the knees to your mat. Slowly all the way to your belly. Uncurl your toes and bring yourself to cobra pose or Sphinx. Then lower down, curl your toes under, bring yourself through all fours. And then hips lift us up and back into down dog. From down dog, we walk forward, our feet come all the way up to our hands, and then hands to our ankles, shins, or thighs as we uplift our heart and inhale. Fold in as you exhale. Inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, V, then we stand and pause, palms facing out. You may want to use your wall, the arm of your sofa, as a little bit of extra help for what we're going to dive into a little bit here. We'll shift our weight onto our right foot, so you can kind of shift back and forth and just feel the balance there. Right? When we stand, we try to stand evenly. When we stand on one leg, we will have to shift all of our weight to our right foot. Bring your hands onto your hips. Take your left leg out in front of you. Turn that left leg out like we're dancing a jig. And then your options are to make it a kickstand with your toes inside of your right foot, to make it a tree pose with your left foot on your shin, or to bring that left foot into the inseam of your right leg. So already things might be getting a little bit wobbly. If that's the case, bring your right hand onto your wall. Take your left arm out to the side, and then a half prayer with your left hand behind your back. Maybe a full prayer with your right hand behind your back as well, balanced on one leg. That's a lot to ask. Do your best. Couple of moments here. It's a little bit breezy outside. I can see the trees fluttering behind me, and I feel like a very breezy tree. Release your prayer carefully. Take your left knee forward, step down, enjoy your mountain, arms along your side, both feet on the ground, hallelujah, and a couple of moments. We will shift all weight onto our left foot. Hands on our hips, right leg out in front of us. We dance a little jig, so we turn it out, and then we decide. Kickstand, foot to the shin, foot inside inner thigh. Remember, left hand might be on your wall or the arm of your sofa. Right arm out to the side. Let's just imagine bringing a half prayer there behind our back, right? If for some reason your left arm can join, you'll take your left hand behind your back too. The wobble is the win. We just have to have a good chuckle about it. It sounded like I said the wobble is the wind. Maybe we could just blame it on the wind. A couple moments here. Free your arms out to the side. Maybe use your left hand on your wall. Turn your right knee forward. Step down into our mountain. We're going to step wide, and we'll need to relocate our props for the next bit. So take your blocks tall, and to what will become the back edge of our mat. So off the side so it's not underfoot. We step wide, arms wide out to the side, a very good guide for where we start. So ankles underneath wrists is a good place to start for our Warrior Two alignment. Turn your right leg out so that your right foot is facing that short edge of your mat, and then cheat your left heel back so that it's at about a 45-degree angle. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Let's bend our front knee, and we want a little measurement. We'd like to keep a vertical line from our right knee to our right ankle. That usually means for me a little bit of a scooch, a little bit of a wider stance. In our Warrior Two, we want to remember tree pose a little bit and feel our right hip hug underneath us, as if that leg were doing a tree. Then we'll take our right forearm across our thigh, our left arm up to the sky. Option to stay exactly as we are here, or to find one of your books or blocks and place that outside your right foot. So side angle pose. Get settled in. If this top arm fatigues, you can always weave that left arm behind your back, make it a little bit of a half bind instead. Three moments together here. We come up to our Warrior Two, and then our left hand will gently slide down our left leg, right arm, thumb to the sky, reaches high. Straighten in slow motion your right leg by pressing into your right big toe mound. Pause. It's not a side bend, it's a hinge at our right hip that takes us to triangle. So arms out to the side, lift that left hip a bit, hinge a lot in your right hip. Right hand on your block, left arm up. Same thing here. If you fatigue, weave that top arm behind your back anytime you'd like. We're going to soak here in silence for 5 moments. I'll be quiet. We'll meditate in our triangle. On our way out, let's be mindful of our exit. Take a look down, bend your right knee, move your block off the side, come through our Warrior Two, then straighten your front leg and lower your arms. Turn all toes to face the long edge of your mat. We should be sort of okay, measurement-wise. So turn your left leg out, we'll see. Cheat your right heel back at a 45-degree angle, arms out to the side. We bend our left knee now, Warrior Two. Always good to check, knee over ankle, 45-degree angle with our back foot. We get a little still here. We remember tree pose in our left hip as our left hip hugs underneath us. Remember the little dance of a jig that took us into tree? That's happening here. And then left forearm across your thigh and right arm up to the sky. Stay here, no questions asked. Maybe find your block, place it outside your left foot, and if your arm gets tired, weave it behind your back for a half bind anytime. We'll take a few moments here. Now we come up through our Warrior Two, and then right hand down your right leg, left thumb to the sky, arm to the sky. Straighten in slow motion that left leg by pressing into your left big toe mound. Take all this space with you as you hip hinge. Remember, not side bend. Reach way out with your left hand. Left hand comes to our block outside of our left foot. And then maybe right arm, top arm weaves behind your back at some point. Theoretically, this is a straight-legged pose. It's not forced straight. A little soft bend is kind of a good thing to think about. And then our silent 5 moments together on this side of our triangle. Remember our mindful exit. We bend our front knee, Move our prop out of our way. Come through warrior two, and then we straighten that front leg. Turn all toes to face the long edge of our mat. And we'll heel toe just once. So just bring your heels in from here. Take your hands onto your thighs and bend your knees. Crawl your hands onto the ground, and we take side lunges here. So you might want to adjust a little bit what's happening in your stance. You can go a little bit wider. I like to go pretty slowly, side to side. Now the next time that you bend your right knee, stay with that bent right knee. And this might be the extent of what we do. You're still going to feel the inseam of your left leg get a stretch. You might, if it's okay with your right knee and your left inner thigh, begin to bend that a little bit deeper and spin on your left heel, and likely you will come up onto your right toes. That's fine. So a pose called Skandasana, you don't have to worry about that name, but it's a stretch for your inner left thigh, and it's quite a deep bend here in our right knee, so you may want to come up higher. You might even want to stack your books or your blocks underneath your right sit bone for this. We'll stay a couple moments. Make sure you're doing you. Remember your expert status when it comes to your body. I'm just your guide. Let's wander over to the other side of this. So flatten your left foot, walk yourself over, take your time. There's zero rush in what we're up to. Now you can stay just like this, or begin to bend your left knee a little bit deeper and slide onto your right heel. For some of us, this is relatively easy. For others of us, this is really a challenge. So take care of yourself, use props, sit on blocks, all those sorts of things. Let's pause a moment. Once again, we'll make our way to the center, so flatten your right foot, wander yourself down the middle. Then turn your toes forward to the long edge of your mat, bring your hands on your hips, firm your belly, come to standing, and heel toe until we are hip distance and can move around a little bit. Take your two blocks, keep them tall, move them probably in front of you, so off that front short edge of your mat. Facing those two blocks, bend your knees like a chair pose. Then cross right ankle on top of left thigh. So we're standing on our left leg and we're crossing our right ankle like a figure four on top of that left thigh. And you might be able to start to reach towards your blocks. If this feels like too much of a reach, this is a good time to maybe just briefly relocate in front of your sofa and use the arm of your couch instead. We've got a couple moments of stretch here. Since you have your hands supporting you on blocks or the arm of your sofa, just carefully slide your right foot next to your left foot. Hip distance is a good stance. Keep both feet on the ground. Inhale, lift your heart. It's a nice place to counter what we just did. Then bring your hands to your hips, firm your belly, and come to standing. We'll take a chair to launch side two. Then we cross left ankle on top of right thigh, and we take our hands to whatever makes sense. So you may have decided to stay there near the arm of your chair or arm of your sofa. Let's enjoy the stretch a few moments together here. Because we have some support, let's make use of it. Step your left foot hip distance from your right, and then just inhale, lift your heart. Both legs will straighten a little bit, maybe quite a bit. Bring your hands to your hips, from your belly, come to standing. Take your two blocks off the sides of your mat. Stand into your mountain, and then inhale, arms up, V shape overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, bend your knees deeply, palms flat, down dog. From down dog, shift to plank, bring your knees to your mat, lower to your belly. Uncurl your toes into cobra or sphinx pose. Lower down, curl your toes under through all fours, and then to our down dog. In down dog, lift your right leg behind you. Step it forward. You might need to help it along. Bring yourself up into crescent pose. You can always decide to do this with your back knee down on your mat. Arms wide out to the side, turn to your right. A twist towards the right, almost as if we're in a Broadway show. You're welcome to use your jazz hands here if you'd like to. And then we will face the front of our mat, V-shape our arms overhead, palms flat, step it to your down dog. In down dog, lift your left leg behind you. Step your left foot forward, help it along. Maybe back knee down, upright we go into some sort of a lunge. And then we will widen our arms and turn to our left. A few moments here in our twist. And then we come back to center, thumbs to the sky. Bend your front knee as deeply as you need to get your palms on the ground. Step to downward facing dog. Option to stay here in down dog, or even to bring your knees down and make it a child's pose. Or shift it, shoulders over wrists, bring your knees to your mat, lower all the way down onto your belly. Uncurl your toes and allow this to become a cobra pose. Lower down, curl your toes under, come through all fours, and now from all fours, allow a seat to happen. So just swing yourself around. I'm moving my blocks so that they are not in my way. Extend your legs out in front of you. Step your right foot over your left leg. This is one way to do the twist, probably the way most of us will do this twist. Right hand behind you, left arm up to the sky, and you can hug that knee or take your left elbow outside your right thigh. The other option with this bottom leg, for those for whom it feels okay, is to bend it so your left heel is coming towards your right butt cheek, and then we twist this way. Great to do it with that straight bottom leg. I'm going to let us have a full silent meditation as we twist here. A full minute starting now. Unwind, turn this into a cross-legged seat. So right shin in front of left shin. And we're not crossing at the ankles. It's a pretty deep cross, so walk those feet across towards, as if you wanted to aim your ankles underneath your knees. And you might want to sit on a folded blanket, and it could be that you just stay upright and you feel all the feels. I know I do, honestly. You can wander forward a little bit, then find your sweet spot where there's a stretch, but it's not overwhelming. Feel free to close your eyes. Know that we have another full minute of silent meditation together here. Bring yourself up. Carefully extend your legs out in front of you. Give them a little waggle. We will now step our left leg over our right leg. Probably most of us will keep the right leg straight as we start to create our twist. Maybe you bend your right knee, right heel towards left outer hip, you might say, and then right arm up to the sky, and you can hug your arm or take your right elbow outside your left thigh, and every inhale grows us tall. Every exhale, we nudge ourselves lovingly into a twist. Unwind and cross left shin in front of right shin. Totally great to stay upright if for any reason you want to wander forward, but we have that full silent moment to steep in the stretch. A full minute starting now. Bring ourselves up, extend our legs for a little waggle in front of us, and make our way onto our backs for our Shavasana final meditation, our rest and digest. Spill out across the floor, let it be comfortable. Give yourself over to gravity. Shavasana. Feel free to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. If you're ready, wiggle your fingers and toes and maybe even give yourself a stretch. Collect your knees in your chest, roll to either side, and use the strength of your arms so your head can be the very last thing to come up. Find a comfortable seat. Palms up or down, maybe hands in a prayer or hands on your heart. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I look forward to us doing this again together.